ZhiYun has engineered a cooling system that has allowed them to release these super portable LED lights that are full powered, packed into these tiny little bodies. They take up very little space in a camera bag. This is the Molus G60 and the Molus X100. I have to admit, up until receiving these lights and doing the subsequent research on their company that followed, I always thought ZhiYun was like a low budget alternative to the main brands for things. I thought they sold the gimbal you buy if you don't want to pony up for a DJI. And I figured once they got into the lighting space, it'd be like a cheaper version, like a newer brand, compared to like Amaran from Aperture. Turns out, all of those brands, Aperture, ZhiYun, DJI, they're all in Shenzhen, China. And they're all basically the same level of quality and the same price. And with these lights at least, I haven't tried any of the gimbals. ZhiYun busted out a couple of tricks that, in my eyes, gives these a bit of an edge beyond just being really small. So my main studio lights are a combination of the Amaran 100D, the Amaran 60D, which is behind me acting as a rim light, and a couple of these small rig 120Ds. I have a few of each of these, and in this environment, they're absolutely fabulous. No complaints at all. 100 watts is totally bright enough, and I think I actually have my key light set at 75% even, because I keep the rest of this room pretty dark. It's an ugly warehouse after all. And for a backlight, the 60D is totally adequate. That doesn't need to be super bright at all. So I already knew that brightness for me wasn't going to be a problem going to 60 watts and 100 watts with these two lights. The packages that they sent me, I got the Pro package for the X100 and the combo pack for the G60. These each come with their own Bowens mount adapter so that you can use all of your regular light modifiers that you already own. These lights are so tiny that they have their own proprietary mount for their own light modifiers. And I'm going to get to those when I talk about travel, because I think that's the secret superpower for these lights. But first, the Bowens mount attachment. The Bowens attachment has its own light stand mount on the bottom, so it's this thing that's holding the weight of the light modifiers, not the actual light. The light just holds the weight of itself on the back of this thing, and the light doesn't weigh anything. That means that here at the warehouse, I can just throw these into the mix. I have 2 more lights on Bowens attachments that can go anywhere and use any of my existing light modifiers. I'm gonna set this thing up on the opposite side of me, and we'll compare the Molus X100 to the Amaran 100D, both on pretty big softboxes. Spare one of these bad boys. So, this is the light you get from the Molus X100, and for the Amaran 100D, this is what I'm used to. Molus X100, Amaran 100D. It's difficult to do the timing on these switches. Oh, what's the light temperature? This temperature looks different. That's not the light's fault, that's my fault, that's a setting. This one appears to be set a little warmer. Also appears to be a little more to the side. That's all right. You see the difference. They're both great. They're both fine studio lights. They both look very attractive. It might be the talent. So as lights, they pass. They're on par. I'm sure you could scrutinize the beam pattern from the various mounts out there, or the exact color rendering based on what it's set at. But luckily, Gerald Undone has done all that for us already, so I'll link that video up here. I'm here to talk about how these guys thought up a little edge over the competition. That edge is power, or power choices to be more specific. So like all of these other lights, you can just plug this thing into the wall and power it forever. No special thing there. And even the Amaran 60D comes with one of these like V-mount battery attachment things, so you can put a couple of batteries on here and run this on battery. These run on the NPF batteries, which is great, and this light is pretty small. I mean, it's not this small, but this is pretty small. This packs easy. The X100 comes with a battery that just clicks right onto the side. It works as kind of like a grip. I don't know why you'd want to be holding a light like this, but actually there's a subreddit where like regular everyday things like old Game Boy or whatever will appear in movies as other things, and I'm almost positive, based on how this thing looks, this is going to show up in a sci-fi movie as some kind of device. Anyway, sidebar. In case this battery dies, unlike the batteries on the Amaran 60D, this thing and this thing can both run off of USB-C. So you can plug any USB-C into this light and it'll power it up. 100%. I've got USB-C battery packs, but also my laptop charger is USB-C. My camera charger is USB-C. The thing that plugs into the side of this Rode thing is USB-C. There's USB-C everywhere. Even my computer monitor will output USB-C. There's USB-C power coming out of the side of my laptop. So when you travel, you can take these things with you and you leave the big power adapters at home. And something you may or may not know, not all USB-C is created equal. Like the power that comes out of my laptop charger won't be the same amount of power that comes out of a battery pack or the side of my laptop. But it would appear that ZhiYun has thought of that. Check this out. To be able to put this light up to its full power, you need a USB-C that can pump out 100 watts. My laptop charger pumps out 100 watts USB-C. I'm not sure if you can see this, but this will say 100%. But for instance, if you have this battery pack and you're going to plug this light into the side of that, this battery pack can only put out 30 watts through USB-C. It does its full power through the actual like connection to the side of that other light. So now that this is just a 30 watt battery pack, there's a little PD30W that shows up on the top of this light. And this is the part of the video that will serve as a reminder to check the battery level on your microphone before you go and record a whole thing and then leave town without editing or even looking at the footage so that you don't have to redo the second half from a hotel room in New York. Hi, it's a few days later now. Let's continue. If you're using a battery pack that can only put out 30 watts like this one, you get this little indication that says 30 in the corner so that you know that, and then the light will only go to 50% brightness. But importantly, you can still use it. From the side of my computer, I think I only get like 10 watts. But that won't stop this light from coming on. It'll just run at 25% brightness maximum. But with a light this bright, this close to your face, 25% is actually fine. Point being, it's got this smart power delivery system to make it so that you can basically always turn the thing on as long as there's USB-C nearby. I love this whole USB-C powered thing. So that's power delivery, but sticking with it being easy to travel, let's check out the light modifiers that come with this kit. You've got a mini reflector, which I'm using now to light up these towels just off screen to work as a bounce for a key light. You've got a mini dome. You've got a slightly bigger mini dome. You've got this collapsible, packable little mini softbox with a little mini grid on the front of it. Combine these mini modifiers with the fact that you can literally power this thing off the side of your laptop, and then it can just sit on one of these little mini tripods. And you can now fit an entire YouTube talking head setup, camera, sound, and lighting all in a single camera bag and take it anywhere. This little thing alone is maybe not bright enough if there's daylight behind you, but turn off the brighter one. Just crank the ISO and make the room a little darker and you're good to go. I think. I haven't checked this. I'm just gonna assume it's good to go. Both of these lights have a 1/4-inch threaded hole in the bottom of them so you can put them on a light stand or a tiny tripod. And really, you could mount this to the top of a camera cage if you want to shoot one of those it's the middle of the night and I'm investigating a creepy place kind of videos. Super bright light. With that reflector, it shoots out in a super good bright cone. Got a video you gotta make from a hotel room? Hotel lighting is ugly and awful. But toss a towel over the TV and shoot the Molus X100 at it. Boom! Instant softbox. This lighting looks pretty good, and that's with daylight behind me. I've already been using this little softbox for effects in my other videos. I just made a review of the new ZV-E1 camera from Sony, and I wanted some sort of reveal when I set the camera box down. There's a setting you can enable on this light so that anytime it receives power, 5 seconds later it'll just turn itself on. So I had this on a light stand facing down at my table where I was gonna set my camera down, had it plugged into a power strip, just flick the switch, count to 5, and set down that box. Add a little sound effect, and love it. These lights are color temperature adjustable too, so you can make it warm or cool. They have an app to control them if you're into that, and if you don't like taking the time to spin an adjustment dial to get it to full brightness, you can just push the button and it'll switch between halfway, all the way, and off. They don't have any of those special effects that come with the Amaran and the small rig lights, like lightning and paparazzi, but those effects are pretty niche and I've never used them. I'm sure they're useful for some people for stuff. I'm just gonna make a complete guess and say that ZhiYun probably had 2 totally separate engineering teams working on these 2 different lights, and there is no contact between the 2. These designs are just completely different, from the knobs to the shape to the power delivery, all of it. I'm gonna use the crap out of these. I do have to disclose by law that ZhiYun sent me these lights and I get to keep them. And surely that has swayed my opinion on these things to some degree, but I mean, the power delivery.